Vaishnavi, thank you for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Vaishnavi. I'm 18 years old. I just started university. I'm taking a break from university though. I'm studying industrial engineering and economics, and currently I'm working on my startup in nanotechnology in quantum dot science.
Okay, nice. So, can you tell us what is nanotechnology? I'm like this person who doesn't really understand science a lot, or yeah.
Sure. So nanotechnology is like a segment of technology where you manipulate the atoms and molecules at like 100 nanometer scale. So basically, it could be, for example, what we're trying to build is like how traditional solar cells have certain limitations towards the efficiency and then also their flexibility. If we are able to manipulate nanotech cells, we have been able to make it more flexible in terms of having it as variables. So that's why we chose this particular aspect of technology in general.
Nice. So, why did you do this? Like, why did you choose to go on this field?
Yeah, interesting. So I've always been quite passionate about renewable energy in general, and also uh, uh, I have been passionate about building stuff as well. And whatever I'm trying to build, I want to have it like attached with a social cause, and that's why like I was quite passionate about when I got to know about okay, this is something that is I could see a potential in, and it's something can also help like social causes. So I was like, just go for it.
So, how do you think it helps a social cause? Because it's related to climate and like using sun as an energy. Is that?
Well, that's true. There isn't a huge thread that attaches something to make it more towards social like cause, but more towards how you foreplay it in general. It may not contribute a lot, but for example, our startup we are trying to run on zero carbon scale, and we're trying to be as sustainable as well in just our operations. So that is like just one aspect of it, apart from actually working on something that is renewable energy.
Okay. So, yeah, I think what inspired you to start like that? You were telling me about your life journey and how you came from a place where the situation didn't really promote that, but
Yeah.
how you were kind of the unique person who was little, probably the moment you got your laptop and COVID was like a hit starter for you. So, yeah, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course. So in COVID, I was in 10th grade. I was just entering 10th grade. And I got a laptop at that time because my parents were like, okay, we can get her a laptop because of Zoom classes. So, but I was quite passionate about like going on, different summer programs. So at that time, there were like a lot of online summer programs that I used to attend. One of them is Code with Glossy. So there's a US-based summer program by Carly Kloss, who's a model, and I was attending that, and then that's actually where like my journey jump started. I learned website development and stuff like that, and realize how passionate I am towards building something. It could be have like a very small, like for example, one of the site I developed was just a mental health check-in website. Okay, that was the first time I did something like that, and it doesn't have to be like a very large scale impact. I just shared it with my friends, and they were like, just having that security from like a 10 friends and having just a little impact in their life is something that made me feel have that sudden purpose in life. So that's like when it really started.
So, do you feel like you've already found the purpose of your life?
um,
Wow, that's a big one. That's a big find if you got it already.
That's an interesting question. I don't know about the exact purpose. So for me, example, I have been adventuring with a bunch of things, and also like I feel like we're still pretty young, so I still have the um, what's the word?
Time.
Wait, the privilege. Yeah, I still have the privilege to kind of explore different things because I started quite young. So for the purpose, I feel like I know that I want to do something that has an impact. I don't know exactly what I'm doing right now is what I want to do the rest of my life, but what I do know is like whatever I'm doing, it has to have an impact in some form or way.
So, an impact, a good impact, it can impact one person, two people. But don't you think that's what everyone does? Like, even if we try or we don't try, we impact our family, we impact our friends, we impact the place where we work. Everybody's already doing that. So, if you go a little deeper, don't you feel like that's something? How is that unique to you? Or how is that something where you feel like it's a little different?
Yeah, that's true. Impact could be quite superficial if you don't inculcate your personal like interest and passion, for example. So I grew up like very a lover of interdisciplinary studies. So interdisciplinary is when you combine a bunch of different things to make it your own, like personalize it. It can be in terms of having a passion for philosophy, and then how can we use it like in a physics domain or something like that. So for me to make an impact, I want to combine a bunch of things that I'm also quite passionate about, but then also use it in a sense that is socially impacting people in general.
Yeah, so like when you say psychology and everything, you've heard about metaphysics. So, do you believe in like the supernatural, the occult sciences, because or like the deeper side of it?
Yeah, I think metaphysics has two extreme ends. One is super like laws like that is connecting with you, God, like belongings, and very spiritual. And one of them is actually, for example, goes to in very nano scales towards electrons and how they have certain energy, and then how we are also personally made of atoms, and that how can we generate that energy as well. So there are definitely two extreme ends. I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle where I'm still trying to figure out where I stand in that particular conversation. But yeah, it has been interesting. I would love to talk more on it, but to be very fair, the more I learn about it, the more I'm someone who get influenced quite easily in terms of philosophical talks. So sometimes I try to maintain my stance and realize like what I'm talking about actually has an impact, or it's just like some blabber.
Yeah, yeah, no, I totally get that. So I think, remember when we met, I was talking to you about how there are like these polar opposite realities. Say when I was at your age, I was thinking about let me be stable first, and then I'll look at what I really want to do. And at that time, I used to think I want to be a designer because it was just pretty. It was like I just liked it. It was fun. I liked it. But then for me, more important was my family, keeping them happy and keeping them, just being with them, belonging to them. I think the way life happened, I had these reality checks, and I connected to a purpose and impact, and it became like this big that now I want to change the world. I want to create something that nobody or a lot of business houses think is impossible. But a lot of people, I go to these temples or I go to these normal places and I tell people what I'm doing, they kind of pat on my back or they bless me on my that, Beta, keep doing it, don't stop. And I've been doing it for the last 3 years, and it's not been easy because I did it along with my full-time job, and my dad would be like, take whatever you need, but then I wouldn't take it because I feel like it's more of a obligation where he has to help me because I'm his child. He's not helping it because he believes that that this is something that I should spend my time on. And I really believe in the concept of energy, where I take from and where I give it. And money is also a very strong form of energy because you're kind of working and then you get something in return, and that is a money form of a paper that they call it, or crypto, that whatever they want to call it, but it's a form of energy, right? It's the strongest form of energy. So when I read about these chakras, we've got these 7 chakras. And this year I had this experience because I've been doing a lot of different things. This year I had this experience, like I felt like all my chakras opened and I went ballistic, like I was spiraling and I didn't understand what's going on. And I, like my friends, but I talk a lot, same thing that you were saying, like I get influenced. It's like what I'm thinking doesn't matter, what other people think is like more important to me. Yeah. And I think when we met, it was like we were feeling this polar opposite reality, like when probably I was 18 years old, how I would have felt, and like now when you would come to my age after achieving whatever you think or decide now, then you feel like, oh, but like what about that bit of it? And it's just so interesting, like we're always rediscovering ourselves. That's what you were saying, like, and for acting it was like you're playing this character, so we are part of this big simulation. And if we were just aware that, right, nothing is permanent, like in a true sense, not just in a theoretical sense, and we could experience and feel it, how life could be blissful if we were following our purpose. And that's pretty much what my products are about, right? Like helping you figure out what your strengths are, helping you figure out what your weaknesses are, and giving you a roadmap of how to get there. And maybe you decide your purpose is something right now, but 2 years later you change it. Or you basically say, I don't really care about my purpose, I just want to have fun for now and I don't want to use it. But then you can come back to it anytime you want. And having a product like that and leaving that in the world, I don't know, it just makes me feel like I've done something of value if I can save its integrity. If I just don't give in to a modern science believer or a philosophy believer and they say I've done studies of millions of people and we know what is right. If they knew that was right, they would have really helped the long end of people, right?
That's why I kind of find the field of interdisciplinarity quite interesting, because you don't really have to choose from like the boxes that have been kept, but you can make your own certain very customized, personalized box where you are not like I'm totally 100% like not a believer of science, not a believer of philosophy, but you can make your own bits that you believe in, that you value, and then that also align with your personal passions and what you want to achieve in the future, your purpose, and then you make your own little box out of it.
Pretty much. Yeah, you put it so beautifully. I think that's literally what it is. And okay, so I think we were talking about these aspects, right? Like spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, social, financial. So for you, what are the 2 focal points for you for this year?
I would say for me it's kindly financial and emotional, because emotional because especially as being a Gen Z, there's kind of like a hustle culture that surrounds around me. So I do want to like pursue my passions right now, and I do see an opportunity, especially in general. In the field that I am in, I can see a lot of potential, and that's something that I want to achieve. But then also I want to be like emotionally connected with things that are around me. Like it could be the people, it could be the purpose. I want to actually feel the purpose when I'm pursuing it. It's not just for the sake of financial, but then also like again make it my own, which is like connecting both the dots and making it something that I want to achieve this year or like maybe in future as well.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much, Vaishnavi. And so, fun fact, I was talking about polar opposite realities, right? So, I was born on Kanjak. And Kanjak is like the Vaishno Devi, that day. So, I was like, every year, it was that thing where I believed in Navratri. And next month is Navratri, where I'm doing my first program as well in London.
Okay,
So,
fun fact as well. I was also like born when my parents went to Vaishnavi Devi. That's why they named me Vaishnavi.
oh my god, that's so cute, right? It's like these small connections and they're fun, right? If you're just aware of it, they kind of help you break the, I don't know,
Break
ice.
the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, something.
But okay, perfect. So I think just last one we get her like individual.